the next match coming up, Mumbai against Bengaluru. Wow, that is going to be a star-studded encounter. But the first thing you think of, obviously, we're going to a bigger ground. We're not in Sharjah anymore. It's going to be in Dubai. I think a lot of questions will be asked about that match. But question number one I'm going to put to you, gentlemen, is Virat Kohli's state of mind going into the game. Harsha.
He's got to pretend the previous game didn't happen. Just pretend it did not happen and go out and say, look, it's only early days. It's only 1-1. They 1-1, right? They played 1-1, lost 1. Mumbai Indians have 1-1, lost 1. We're still at the same place on the points table, and they lost 1 game. We lost 1 game. It's still early days, so he's got to be very, very positive. It'll help them if he scores runs. He's just the kind of person who likes to lead from the front, who likes to set an example. Whether it's fitness, whether it's scoring runs, he likes to set an example and say, right, come on, everyone, follow me, let's play. So if he scores runs, I think he'll be in a happier state of mind and he'll be able to lead the team along as well.
A few things have happened off the field, Joy, but I'm sure he'll be able to put that aside.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that, and a very interesting analogy. In 2014, it was a similar situation. Gotham and they were expecting a child, and at that point in time, they were touring, and we were in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, with the Kolkata Knight Riders. And, it is something, because, there's so much thought, so much of your mind is at home, so much, and especially the first child, it's something very, very special. So it's not easy at all. But I think very often what happens is that captains or great players have this ability to sort of channelize that and say, okay, I'm going to just play this. I'm going to deal with this through my cricket. And that's what Gotham did. He started off terribly. His mind was all over the place. And then suddenly something seemed to meld, and he sort of, then got into rhythm. And somewhere great players find everything to channelize. If you look at Michael Jordan as a player, he would get angry. He'd find things to get angry about to channelize. And very, very often, great players find a reason, find something to be able to put inside them and turn that into motivation for them to do well. And Virat has all those, capacities, his capabilities in him. I think he's going to do that. I think Virat will be much more pumped up for this match than, say, Rohit will be.
Fair enough, but let's have a look at the personnel out there and see if there's any necessary changes from the two teams. We'll go to Virat Kohli's squad first at the moment. Obviously, in terms of the foreigners, he's got Aaron Finch, AB de Villiers. My one question mark to you, gentlemen, Josh Philippe, does he get one more opportunity, or can you start thinking of a Moeen Ali already?
On the biggest ground in the tournament. The whole question of who's going to keep wickets. If they can resolve the question of who's going to keep wickets, then the next point resolves itself, and he's just got to go somewhere and find bowlers, or he's got to tell these bowlers, look, I have faith in you, come back and deliver, doesn't matter, but you have to bowl death for me. He needs someone to bowl at the death. From that point of view, Dubai is a far, far better ground.
Well, Parthiv Patel, I guess, comes in, Joy, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can do all sorts of things. You can take away Josh Phillips, play Parthiv Patel, take out Washington.
But Parthiv comes, Padikkal goes out, right?
Yeah, no. Maybe you can put Parthiv in, and you can just take a Washington Sundar out, put in a Moeen Ali then for Josh, and then turn it around like that. Yeah. And then say, okay, Parthiv is not going to bat, because I'm not going to change my batting order just to accommodate Parthiv. Because, I've always believed that that's a fallacy in reasoning, saying that because Parthiv can't bat anywhere else, I need to open with him and break up the rest of my order. I think they have a before if it delivers, and I don't think they should tamper with it too much. I think Moeen Ali coming in, though, and in a ground like Dubai would be useful to them.
And if you have to look at one more change, there's the possibility of Isuru Udana for Dale Steyn.
Honestly, Steyn has not looked the kind of bowler that he used to look, and that's not just about his hairstyle. Normally in the legends of yore, when Samson had long hair, he could do well. When they cut off his hair, he didn't do very well. Maybe it's the opposite for Dale Steyn. Maybe if he chops his hair off and he comes back to the Dale Steyn that we remember, maybe that's when he'll start bowling well, instead of looking like a rock star. If he looks a little more like the Dale Steyn we remember. But yeah, right now Dale Steyn is looking a pale shadow of the amazing bowler we remember him maybe.
Maybe two leggies. Get Zampa in and say we'll play with two quicks. or maybe get a Siraj in, and or if Shivam Dube, they can back Shivam Dube to bowl a little bit and look at Zampa maybe. Who knows? Big ground, if it's doing something for two leggies.
I think I'm with Harsha on that one. I'm a huge fan of Zampa's, and I think he just brings something to the field, an X factor. But coming to Mumbai, Harsha, obviously less for Rohit Sharma to think about in terms of personnel, but still they're still looking at 1-1 in terms of sorting that out. Let's have a look at the Mumbai squad. There it is.
Yeah. One issue they need to have, which is their big strength was, we keep talking 5, 6, 7 for Mumbai Indians, but the one who's bowling most in that is actually Pollard and not the Pandya brothers. So if Hardik is not going to bowl, then suddenly the balance is gone. And if Pollard doesn't bowl, there are only 5 bowlers, and Krunal isn't bowling too well. Maybe it's rust. He hasn't started bowling that well again. So they're having to look at Pollard. And so that balance is starting to get affected a little bit because Hardik is not bowling too well. Hardik is not bowling at all, and Krunal is not at his best yet. So that is the one issue they need to manage. But on the other side, 3 fast bowlers bowled beautifully. Bumrah, Pattinson bowled, did everything asked of them. So they're setting it up for the balance 8 overs.
So you're really talking about problems within the 11 and sorting those out as opposed to pulling someone from outside, right?
Yeah, I don't think, and if you look at that Bombay lineup, the rest of the lineup, this team practically chooses itself under these circumstances. I mean, this is the team to play. The only thing, as again we talk about, is that maybe they don't have as many spinners. With Kunal not bowling that well, Rahul Chahar is the only really legitimate spinner that they're playing with. But that's one of the things that, I think Bombay is that way a very complete side. It's a very set side. And the most important thing for them is that Bumrah is back. The enforcer is back. Because having that legitimate enforcer who's at 4 overs spell, that they were missing for the first match, I think they've got that back, and that's important to them. Bumrah is really important to them, and I don't see any changes, and I see, to be honest with you, over the next 13, 14 matches, barring injury, I don't see Mumbai tampering around too much with this side.
Yep. So, we some people ignore matchups, but it's always nice to put it out there. 2 people who played together so often under national colours, Virat Kohli versus Rohit Sharma. Spicy matchup, isn't it, Harsha?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how they see it. I think it could be seen to be spicy from the outside. I don't know if they see it like that. Because eventually Virat and Rohit have done so much together for India. They realize that, it's franchise cricket, so we're on the other side. Unless deep down there is this feeling, look, there is a feeling of one-upmanship. We don't know that. It's very easy to speculate. And since we're a certain kind of channel, we don't exaggerate speculation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
For me, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I was just
coming someone else.
Yeah. So what I was just saying was that the way Virat looks at a match and the way Virat plays is very different from the way Rohit plays, and I think those 2 teams reflect that as well. So Rohit's basic job is to get his team relaxed before a game. Okay, everyone knows their roles. Relax, go do your thing, get out. It's a match. Finish it off. Go back home. And Virat's is to pump his guys up. They're very different in the way they seek to sort of make their side perform well. So the interesting thing about it is that in many ways, Rohit's formula is a better formula in the long run, because it's easier to get people to relax and start doing their roles over a long run. Whereas if you're pumping up people, you're not going to be able to successfully pump them up every day. So maybe that's why you'll see, this Bangalore team, there'll be days where they'll dazzle you, and there are days where they'll be flat. And that is the one thing whereas the worst that happens to the Mumbai team is they look sleepy and out of sorts, which is the way they start every season. So they've got so used to it that they're not even bothered about it anymore. First match, they practically say, okay, it's in the name of the other team. We'll just get on from match number 2, we'll start moving.